Thank you very much. We were the first to launch manifesto in the top 3 because we had set that date for ourselves. Ordinarily, you know, in the election year, the ANC goes first through January 8 statement, and the January 8 statement of that year effectively becomes a manifesto. So we assumed that they will have the usual and then will follow, and then will follow each other in that order. So we were shocked that they didn't want to launch in January for whatever reason. And when we announced that we are going into Moses Mabhida, the ANC also announced that they are coming after us. It's unheard of. It's something that must then teach you as a country that political dynamics have changed. The story that the ANC is a leader of society no longer exists. They are tailing behind the EFF, and that should make us very proud. Look, the Ekurhuleni situation will always be like that, especially on the ANC side. We really don't want to get involved in their internal affairs. The ANC gets upset that the EFF went to unblock a blocked sewer and then tweeted about it, and they're like, you see, they are outshining us. This thing of participating with them in government, they are out. How do you get upset by people who are doing work? There is no incident in Ekurhuleni that can be reported in relation to service delivery and it doesn't get attended to in less than 24 hours by the EFF. That's what makes the ANC uncomfortable. But you can learn from those activists and do better. We even go, the EFF public representatives in Ekurhuleni say, well, this is not our department, but we'll ensure that we report this to the relevant authorities and make sure it's attended to. They will not disappear after that. They are going to come back to you on social media publicly that this matter you raised has been resolved. So we are a service delivery orientated kind of an organization. This morning, there was a problem of water in Tongat, in eThekwini. It falls under our department. Immediately when we heard that, we brought that to the attention of the chairperson of the committee, who is an EFF deployee. And we said to him, you must go and make sure that that matter is attended to. The problem with Ekurhuleni is that, eThekwini, is that the municipality, the way it is designed, everything is run by a city manager. So that city manager of eThekwini can run that municipality with powers vested on him without politicians. That's the power he has. Now, he's a man who is who's paranoid. Every deputy manager, they call them deputy managers, DP, deputy city managers. Every deputy city managers, he has declared them enemies. So when they go into a committee to process some procurement of this and that, ultimately he must sign. He says, no, it's a trap. They are setting me up. They want to remove me. So that municipality, more than Kaunda being a problem, the problem is the city manager, who's lazy and half the time out of the country. He travels all over. He doesn't take decisions. The committee sit. Our committee is responsible for what? Almost 80% of the budget of eThekwini. We sit with piles and piles of documents that seek an approval of a city manager, because you can't do anything in eThekwini without the city manager. The man is so incompetent and has got no intention to move because everything is a setup. Why can't he go himself to sit in those committees? He's holding service delivery like this on simple issues that can be fixed. The naked eye can see where the problem lies and needs people to come and fix. When it is matters that fall within the municipality and the insourced workers of municipalities can be called to come and attend to those issues, we do so. I went to address a community meeting in eThekwini, and then a mother stood up there and said, there is a sewer that runs into our house, and it has been like this for some time now. The chairperson of eThekwini stood there and said, as the mother was speaking, I went behind the truck to call the department. They are on their way. I won't leave here until that matter was solved. He sent me pictures and videos at 2 a.m. that the problem is now resolved. And with him being on site, that is the kind of leadership we are providing to this country. So, Ekurhuleni, there is TK faction. There is Mzwandile faction. The guys were together. Why they fought and they are fighting like this, it's a problem. Then you've got Doctor, who is a convener, who belongs to TK stroke Lesufis faction. Then you've got this one who hates the EFF with passion. Jongezizwe, who works with Mzwandile Masina to sabotage that municipality. If that municipality fails, is Mzwandile Masina using Jongezizwe to sabotage and blocking of a toilet? They don't want that. They even go to an extent of making a presentation in the higher structure of the ANC that participation with the EFF in government makes the EFF shine. How? Njani? Because we all have reps. Why are the EFF reps don't stop ANC reps from doing their work? The guys are not doing their work. They are obsessed with opulence and showing off. That is their life. That's why they can't dirty their hands and get into a manhole to unblock the sewer. A councillor of the ANC, and you, comrades, did not even write about it. A councillor, a ward councillor of the ANC, went to physically block Commissar Thembi Msani when she was unblocking a sewer. Physically blocked her. You can't unblock the sewer in my ward. Labour, you love your poo-poo. No, not in my ward. You can't unblock. That's the ANC caliber of people you have. You can't unblock a sewer in my ward. It's there on social media. You can find it. ANC ward councillor stopping service delivered because it's done by EFF. And it's not done by EFF. It's a municipality. Those people, it's an MMC. The workers are a municipality. Not in my ward. In my ward, the ANC loves sewer running all over the streets. I'm not telling you theory. I'm telling you things that you can easily refer to. And I hope this EFF communication will go back to replay these things. Or this is what the CIC was talking about. My sister, there's just too much money, Shami, in South Africa. A lot. We have a lot of money. Just tell me, why do we need deputy ministers? Why do we need such a big cabinet? Why should the president spend 600,000 in food in a jet? Ujeni? Is he eating golden eggs or what? There is just too much. Our state-owned enterprises have got the capacity to generate a lot of income for us. Illicit financial flows and tax avoidance that robs South Africa of its monies needs a decisive leadership. From corporate tax alone, if properly collected, we can finance higher education free of charge. With, not corporate tax, with mining tax alone. The mining companies, including that one that killed people in Marikana, London mine, which Cyril Ramaphosa was part of, it was confirmed that they are engaged in illicit financial flows and tax avoidance, because it is a general practice. It is a general practice in mining. The haves in South Africa do as they wish. They are not paying their taxes. They don't pay their taxes. And then in the same manifesto you refer to, we're talking about taxing the rich. Desmond Tutu spoke about that when he was still alive. And no one has ever hurled insult on him. So I hope you won't do that on me, because I'm just repeating what Archbishop said at that time. He said, we must tax the rich. There's money. We don't want VAT at 15%. It must go to 14% because it's heavy on the poor. It's heavy on the poor. Yet the rich are left alone without being taxed and without being made to contribute to the well-being and the socio-economic development of this country. So the money is there. You remember we were eating billions during COVID. We didn't know where they came from. When they were eating those billions, can you imagine? You spend billions. Till to date, there is nothing physical you can point at that those billions that were spent during COVID, this is what they did. Even in the State of the Nation addresses, they were pretending to be claiming all this development. They never said to you, during COVID we built this hospital. During COVID we bought these ambulances. During COVID, with the money we did this. They simply don't account for that money of COVID because it made them more richer. South African deployment of soldiers to DRC is out of order. It must be withdrawn with immediate effect. Not that South Africa is not supposed to deploy in DRC. We're supposed to deploy in DRC and be in the forefront. We just don't have the army. Our army can't look after cabbages. I can't hire them in my farm to go and look after cabbages. We just don't have the army. The ANC has collapsed the army. That's why in the manifesto of the EFF we say we will finance the army and make sure that it's properly trained and the necessary equipment needed for the success of the army is provided. The army has collapsed. How come the AK-47s just enter South Africa with ease? Look at what KwaZulu-Natal has become now, where guns are found with ease. AK-47 is associated with Mozambique. It's even on their logo. The flag of Mozambique has got AK-47 because that is a weapon of their choice. It has never been for us. Unless in exile, in MK and APLA and all of that. But we as a country, we don't count amongst ourselves the weapons that we prefer, AK-47. So it tells you this thing is entering somewhere. Where is the army? It's not there. There's no army. So they are sent there to be killed because they are not properly trained. They must come back home, and we must stop with any military deployment until we are fit and proper. Just take a walk and look at a South African soldier walking. You see a demoralized man who's carrying a rifle, and you see that rifle is heavy on him. He's not even fit to carry that rifle. They killed it. So, Cyril Ramaphosa wants to kill our children in DRC. Those rebels, DRC, they are well equipped. Who goes to a base of an army if you know that thing is an army and is powerful? You go to the base once you have undermined them. Base. That's why all of the army in the battlefield, when things are bad, they are called to retreat to the base. Because that's where you can regroup and attack. No, they come to a base. That's how weak you are. They come to your base and finish you off in your base. We were undermined to that level. And it's not for the first time. We were beaten in Central African Republic. Also in the base. We are attacked in the base. What kind of an army is this one that get easily attacked in a base? If you are saying you've got the army and with so much money being used to go and finance the ANC election campaign. Because that's what they are doing. They are sending those soldiers there. The last time, you remember, the soldiers, SG, were complaining that they are deployed, was it July unrest or something? They didn't have food. They didn't have food. The soldiers did not have food. So who's going to fight with an empty stomach? How are you going to shoot that rifle with an empty stomach? They are not being fed. The situation has deteriorated. How do you have a base of the army in Northern Cape burning down without the army having the capacity to extinguish the fire itself? What if it was another country burning our army base? How is there? We're not going to defend ourselves. So many soldiers died in that base because there are no necessary equipment to deal with emergency like that. So, for you to open a lodge, SG, or to open this building, you are always asked, where are your safety plans? And they even want fire extinguisher certificates and all of that. Lodges of South Africa are more safer than army bases of South Africa. Because the army base has got no fire extinguisher. To a point where the army base gets burned and our brothers die. On a normal day, it's not war. On a normal day, it's not a war. You are sitting like that, the fire starts. It's not like, okay, we're fighting them, they are burning this side, we have to extinguish this side and run to the... On a normal day, there is a fire coming from there. It burns all of you. The last line of defense. So I will never agree that there must be any army of South Africa deployed anywhere, not under the circumstances. We have to re-equip and retrain our army. They say there are 2 fighter jets, what do you call it, Roy Falk, there in DRC with these soldiers. They are there. We are paying for them and all of that. They've never been in the air for more than a year. For more than a year. What are they doing in DRC? Because those are fighter jets. They must go there to fight. Get decoration, get art. In the base, they're using Roy Falk as art. Decoration. Plum pot. You take the whole Roy Falk, you turn it into plum pot. My brother, we are not entertaining critics. We are not entertaining any critics. We made history, and that's what we are claiming. When we claim our victory, you can't say we're entertaining critics. After every rally, you have a duty to come back in this fashion and give a report of how you see things and how you're planning going forward. That's what we're doing. Our rally in KZN was successful and the numbers were satisfying. We filled up that stadium and we're happy with it. And we filled up that stadium with young people. Oh, go and look at those pictures. The youth is not interested in politics. Go and look at those pictures. I was struggling to find old people there. Someone that looked old, close to old, was Sidi. Other than that, I didn't see any old person. So, we filled up that thing. We're not entertaining our critics. Let me tell you, we never had a poster of that rally outside KZN. When you live here, go to John Smart Street, you'll find ANC posters of a manifesto launch in Moses Mabhida. They are here in Johannesburg. Posters off. And Lady Jedi Nepel di vie, you look at the journalists. Let's go no level la fela la severe di nep. Go and yeah, John Smart. I go rumele khulen. When you live here, there is no way you can go anywhere without passing John Smart. On John Smart's road, on all the roads in Sandton, ANC manifesto launch posters are there. We didn't have that. We did not have a single bus outside KZN, not one. Because if we had asked Johannesburg to, Gauteng to bring, Free State to bring, Eastern Cape to bring, and then we bring those people, the tribalists were going to say he brought people from Limpopo. You'll never satisfy the tribalists. That's why we took a decision that no, we need to show these tribalists that KZN will never be a tribalistic province. We grew up in the ANC, and that's one thing we need to thank the ANC for. The ANC has never taught us tribalistic politics. Never. From its formation, the ANC has always said, Muxhosa, Muzulu, Musotho, Tlanganana. There was a motto like that. We grew up like that. Those are our politics. So, Mutolo's entertainment of tribalism and encourage tribalistic activities and finance tribalistic activities is scary. South Africa must rise against tribalism. We will never stop going to KZN. We will go and politicize that province and make sure that our people are not victims of tribalism. So the tribalists want to make KZN a no-go area. We're not going to allow that. Our duty as the EFF is to politicize the people of South Africa. We did that successfully at Moses Mabhida. So, my brother, we're not responding to any critique. We're coming to give a report. When you have a rally, you come back, you give a report, and then we give you opportunity to ask us, if you so wish, on the manifesto, what do you mean by this, like that, like you are doing. So, we don't entertain critics. We're in charge. We run our own race. No one tells us what to do. We're the only organization, not even DA can try that, outside the IFP and the ANC in less than 10 years to go and organize, in less than 11 years, to go and organize a rally in Moses Mabhida. It's a reserved territory for certain people. You guys are not allowed here. That's why all types of nonsense was said before we went in. At the center of it was tribalism, where a person says, Malema must not come here because he can't speak Zulu. And then Mutolo goes and defends such a person. He says physical violence is not allowed. But he doesn't say tribalism is violence. Tribalism, like racism, is violence. And Mutolo is a tribalist. The ANC, for the first time we have a leader of the ANC who's a tribalist of note. who can't condemn tribalism. He condemns people who fought with that guy physically. He doesn't say, but equally, this guy is wrong. We don't promote any physical violence, but we can't defend tribalism. South Africa, we are still fortunate. We still elect people on merit. We must all unite, all of us must unite against tribalism and refuse tribalists to declare KZN as a no-go area so that they can have a field day for tribalists. We must unite against tribalism the same way we unite against racism, and we must never get tired. My sister, you know, Ipsos only got the election prediction on the EFF wrong in 2014. And not on the EFF only, on everyone. Today, Helen Zille is insulting them, saying, no, they can't listen to Ipsos, they don't mean anything. But argue with her scientifically, Helen, leave those things of Magogo. Let's talk science. These people have never been completely out. They've never been completely out on their predictions. Ipsos told us last year, when is the March? March. Last year, March. Pella, we call Ipsos to our meetings to come and make presentation. We are not scared of science. They must tell us our own things. They said to us, we don't know what you are doing. We don't know what message you are spreading, but stick to that message. And if you do so successfully, by December, you are going to pass the DA. So when this outcome came, we were not shocked. We were told about it before. The same way we're told about all manner of predictions as they come. Because Ipsos is an internationally credible research institution. Not that thing of DA. Huh? Institution for Race Relations, run by that boy whose mother passed away. She was a member of parliament there on behalf of the DA. What's the name of that boy? He's running that thing. Van Onselen. Yeah. That thing, how do you listen to that thing? It had on its website DA as one of their sponsors, if not clients or something. So Ipsos does not only to the EFF, to corporate South Africa. All big corporate in South Africa uses Ipsos for research. We are not using, we never gave them money to go and do research. We say to them, come and tell us what you find in your own research, like the one that you guys are talking about. In our next meeting, they are going to come. And then they will be very critical. Here, these are the issues, here are the issues. They even profile leaders here, there. And then we hear that, we go back, we intensify our thing. Observer missions are always welcome. There's no regime change here. What regime change? We're just going to remove them through democratic means. Whether there is a British observer or a US observer or whatever observer, they are going out. They can call any observer from wherever. No one is coming to rescue them. They are going out. You know, you can say all you want to say about Mbalula, and that's what I must give you a tip about him. The guy never lies. So he tells the truth, mara anattacked. So he tells it not in a tactful way. So that's what gets him into trouble. But at the end of the day, that is the truth. If you remember, Mbalula at the beginning said the ANC is going to get 30%. He said, I will be shocked if the ANC passes 30%. That's when he was starting to be the Secretary General. But you guys forget that he was head of elections before he was Secretary General. So he knew what he was talking about. Then he says to me, let me tell you something, my guy. You see, this guy, Cyril Ramaphosa, saved us in this previous election. If it was not Cyril, remember that time Cyril was, oh, hey, all this good thing, hey, well, good boy, good boy. And you are praising a thug, good boy, good boy. This guy, had this conference gone anywhere and produced a different result, that was the end of the ANC. So now, after that, he has an interview, he says, I'll be shocked if we pass 30%. And then he comes, he realizes, I said something I was not supposed to say. Then he's trying to spin it. I was saying, for instance. There are certain examples you don't give. Imagine when you're talking, for instance, Julius Malema doesn't have 100. You can't say that. Or no, it's example. Even in the example, you can't give example about me like that. There are certain examples you don't do. How do you do example about your party getting a 30%, a ruling party? It escaped him and he was telling you the truth. Mbalula called it before Ipsos. Or, 30%. So it's done. We support the king and we don't know that decision of what? Ngonyama Trust, that the king has made changes and all of that. We'll familiarize ourselves with those things. But Ngonyama Trust is his. It's not his. He's not the boss. Yeah, the government is involved. I know, Minister of Agriculture, what. But the king is the main guy there. Yeah. So if you're a trustee, you can be a chairperson. So, yeah. Anyone to be a chairperson has to be a trustee in a trust. So, I don't know if he broke any law or not. That of a spokesperson, I don't want to get involved. It's like asking me, what do you have to say about the king firing a PA? Ngenapi. Those are his people. Those are his staff members. He must take a decision. There is no threshold that we have put for ourselves. Maybe Floyd has got a threshold. I don't have any threshold. And when I'm nominated in that conference, I'm going to accept the nomination. Yes, I'm not going to do anything of abnormality. All I did in this term was to offer myself, tired or not tired, rain or no rain, sick or not sick. I did everything humanly possible to keep this organization to be what it is today. And I've got no regrets in everything, including the school. The school is there. The plans are there. Professionals have been appointed. We are stuck with the incompetence Mogale municipality to approve our plans. And there's nothing we can do. Remember, 2 years, we couldn't do anything. So we had 3 years to finalize this school. We bought the land. There's nothing we can do if the municipality doesn't give us approvals. We tried everything. And then the Boers at that place, remember that's an agricultural land in Magaliesberg. The Boers have been opposing the rezoning of that place. We have been in and out of municipal offices fighting all types of racist objections for us to build a school. So I said in that conference, if we don't do it, don't elect us. But we've done it. Give us approvals today. You will see what will happen. Give us approvals today and say, yes, rezoning, yes, this, yes, that. We are very good friends with China, by the way. We can build that thing in 3 months before conference. We are very good people with China. Shame. Even the money you're talking about of financing these plans, China is readily available to come and help. It has been trying to help, even in this current government, with infrastructure funding from China, and they've not been cooperating because they are committed to the West and America. I think I've dealt with all the questions. Thank you. Floyd, commitment, threshold.